Weather Bell Analytics meteorologist Joe Bastardi, your GoSalt Weekly. Well, actually, we're doing it every other day now because there's a lot going on. Not much going on today. 24 hours ending tomorrow evening. You see a little light snow here. We got a clipper coming across the north that brings some cold air. 24 hours ending Wednesday evening. Watch this. Ending Thursday evening, this comes across, and a lot of the areas that did not see snow this weekend see snow out of this. A couple of inches. I could see. I think you're going to get the snow into New York and Long Island, coating to an inch or two. Now, what happened with this storm? I don't want you to lose heart out there, because 10 days ago there was no sign of the storm that just blasted the daylights out of everyone from KC to DC. They had 10 inches of snow in DC, and of course we had a little coatings up here. North Jersey into Long Island here. But what we try to do is give you a general idea of going on, and then what's going on and honing in on it. This pattern is going to hit big time. And what may happen is all of a sudden there's 2, 3, 4 storms right in a row, and people are buried, because that's where this pattern is going. The significance of this big storm in here is twofold. It indicates the pattern is changing. Unlike the December storm, where it occurred in here, and then the normal Modoki warm-up, the Modoki El Nino warm-up occurred for mid-December into early January. This one's the start of real winter. It indicates that winter is starting and evolving, we say. So the 48-hour snowfall ending Thursday night looks like this. Now here's where it gets tricky. Ending Friday night, there is another big storm coming I-70 and the Mason-Dixon line northward. And honest to goodness, this is very complex. Someone is going to get whacked where snow comes across, and then another feature amplifies and just dumps 1 to 2 feet of snow. I've always thought that this is going to be mainly north of this area here, the heaviest, but it will include areas a little bit further south. Now, it's very tricky because there are certain things going on hemispherically. Some of them say, well, it looks like it should be suppressed to the south. Let's remember the last 2 storms, the one we just had and the one in December, all started north and got pushed down to the south. So then we see ending, I believe this is by Saturday evening, and this is by Sunday evening. You see a snow and ice. And what would happen here is it's saying, snow and ice changes to rain, all right, in these areas. Now, I'm not saying we buy that. The GFS is, U.S. model is much colder, but they keep flipping back and forth. Here's what you have to know. There is a ton of weather on the table here, all right? That's just for this week. So there you see the 48-hour snowfalls, and obviously this will say, well, the I-95 corridor, it's a mess. Remember the mess we had in November? Maybe it's that kind of mess, all right? Except it's January, people should be ready for it. But yesterday, this was down here. It may shift right back down there again. But it's not over after that. You see the GFS with this first storm is further south and east, the U.S. ensembles. Look what the snowfall total and the ensembles is for the next 16 days. Now, what's the difference between an ensemble and just a single run? Well, what you do is you get 21 different runs, and you see, well, how do they look? So the ensemble is saying winter is coming big time. Look what this single run operational has, right? It's building a glacier. The Emperor of the North always builds a throne of snow to rule from, and that's what's going on here. When you go back and look at this winter, you're going to say, well, from October to about December 10th, it got cold. December 10th to January 10th, it got warm. January 10th to March 10th, winter returned with a vengeance, all right? Talking as a nation as a whole, okay? And that will include everyone. I mean, I think everybody's going to get hammered out of this relative to averages. Now, watch this. At 500 millibars, okay, you see this week, you see negative here, negative here, negative here. See that negative there? That means it's coming down. Look. You see, look, this is beautiful. This is like, you could teach this in meteorology. You see that, see that, see that. Eventually, they're going to go right in the middle. All right, so we see the temperatures this week. Here's the fierce cold in Canada, sort of normal here, warm to the south. Then we get when we look at the 6 to 11 day period, you see how strong these are? This trough begins to develop. So what happens is this. You see this storm that comes through this weekend? Brutally cold air comes in after it. Another one's right on its tail. All right? But day 10 through 12. And then after that, there's going to be another one. All right? So there's the temperatures in the 6 to 11. Now, look what happens in the 11 to 16. And you see this? This locks in the rest of the winter, right? So this is down here. What you basically get is they hand off systems to this, and then they try to deepen, and it just pulls brutally cold air into the pattern. So look, you know, we got off to a fast start. If you look at the big picture, if you look at our preseason forecast, you will see that we had, for instance, in New York City, about 140% of normal snowfall, which is 35 to 40 inches. I have full confidence in that. All right, so far there's been 7, I guess, right? But you go down to Atlantic City, there's already been 10. Atlantic City is twice their normal snowfall so far. DC is twice to 3 times their normal snowfall. One storm, right? So what's probably going to happen in these areas further north is there's going to be 2, 3, 4 storms that hammer the daylights out of you and create the forecast and maybe go on beyond the forecast. This is a beautiful pattern. It's like the 1970s. Now, let me again say something, okay? I want you to think, because you buy salt and say, Joe, where's all this snow? We threw some salt on the roads the other night. Think about 78. Everybody loves that. But until about January 19th, there were no storms. A big storm came up the East Coast, supposed to rain on the 19th or something, and it wound up snowing a foot or two. It got wiped out the following week. Big blizzard went up through the Ohio Valley. It's got to 60 degrees in New York, wiped all the snow out, right? So when the blizzard of 78 started, there was no snow on the ground anywhere in February, right? And then, there's 20 inches of snow on the ground. That's how these big ticket items work, okay? Except the interesting thing about this is repeat cold, repeat cold, repeat cold. So the basic gist of the forecast, it's January 15th to February 14th, we said, look out. I have no changes in that, except that I think we're going to March 14th, all right? But the coldest period of the year, repetitive storm threats and increasing cold is where this is going over the next month. That's it for now. Enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.